Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Gabriela. I make videos about astrology, fragrance, self-care, mental health, an actor's life in Los Angeles. I do vlogs and basically anything else I feel like talking about. So if that sounds like your jam, please stick around and subscribe. I would love to have you here. Today, we are doing the last video in my Venus sign series. We finally made it to the end with Venus and Capricorn. You guys are so patient. Shout out to you guys. Before I start, I always like to say, if you're newer to astrology, Venus is the planet of love, friendship. It can be aesthetics and beauty, how we spend our money. And it's not just romantic love. That's why it's friendship too. It can just be how we express love with one another, whether that's friends, family, or romantic. So if you have a Venus in Capricorn or someone you know has Venus in Capricorn, maybe you're here doing a little research, no judgment. I've been in your shoes many times. That is how I fell in love with astrology YouTube. Let's get into it. I usually have notes and I don't feel like I'm gonna go with notes today. I feel like talking about Capricorn is already gonna give me enough focus. I don't need the extra notes. So the first thing I thought when I thought of Venus in Capricorn was play no games. Don't mess around. Don't give me the runaround. Capricorn is a sign that is known for being serious because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Saturn puts boundaries on things. Just like when we talked about Venus and Sagittarius with Jupiter, it's all about expansion. Saturn is all about boundaries and things in its place and keeping things where they are, a structure. So Venus in Capricorn really are looking for structure in all areas of their life. Of course, this always depends on other people's charts, like everybody's individual charts. I can't make generalizations and then expect it to apply to everybody, but we should all know that, right? But love is no exception to that. They want stability. They're an earth sign. They want stability. So when it comes to love, some Venus signs, maybe Sag, Gemini, the idea of settling down really doesn't sound very fun. It really sounds kind of scary. For a Venus in Capricorn, most people, that's going to be the goal. The goal is not to date a bunch of people and then end up lonely. The goal is to find that high quality person, settle down. There's nothing wrong with settling down, creating a stable, nice life together, if that is your goal. And whether your goal is marriage or not, if you want to have some kind of dynamic with another person, it's got to be stable. The same goes for their friendships, okay? They need to have friends, and I say need because this might not always be the case of what they have, but they need to have friends that don't play games with them, that they don't have to guess, do you like me or not? Where they may even have consistent days that they're seeing these people. Any kind of schedule, consistency, boundaries, strong boundaries, that's gonna be good for a Venus in Capricorn. Now, one thing I do notice about Venus in Capricorn is I feel like people with Capricorn placements, some of them are aware and some are not, where they might think that they're not really romantic. Maybe they're not very good at being romantic. Maybe they know how to like put on a good show, spend money, you know, make somebody feel really special, but they're like, do I know about seduction and love and flirtation and all of that? I don't know. It may be an area where they feel they are lacking because they feel like they can't break out of their shell. They feel like they might have some anxiety around it. So when they get this in their minds that they're not so good at love, or they're not, you know, they're awkward with love, or they've never had, you know, they've had unlucky relationships, they might, I know people with Capricorn placements who accept love from anybody. It's almost like if you put a good argument, it's almost like a business deal. If you show me 3 reasons why you want to be with me and you really seem like you like me, I'll commit to you. And sometimes they don't even weigh whether they like that person back. It's just kind of like, well, they're showing a lot of initiative. They seem really into me, and I like that. I like somebody who shows drive and dedication. And so they deserve a shot with me. And like I always say though, or I say this on TikTok at least, we do not commit to potential. I find Venus and Capricorns actually can go from not so serious to very serious relationship fast, because they're like, well, if it's meant to be, I'll know, and I'll just throw myself into it, and just like I do with every other aspect of my life, I will be dedicated, blah, 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 blah. And I would challenge Capricorn influence people to really figure out whether you like that person or not. And don't be so flattered when someone's into you, because you know what? That's cool, it feels good, but you're great. A lot of people would be into you. It doesn't mean that you need to commit to someone. They might even be a wonderful person, but if it's not feeling right to you, don't do it. You don't have to commit to someone just because they're showing you attention. I think also Capricorn influence people sometimes don't feel like they're very charismatic. And so when someone sees them and says, you're special, there's something about you that I like, it's almost like that's all I needed to hear. I'm yours. And I would caution them to be a little bit more careful. It's funny, you would never think of Capricorn like that, but I do know that when it comes to love, because they often feel so dumbfounded by love, they feel so like it's such a mystery, that if somebody loves them, or maybe what I'm experiencing right now is love, screw it, let's just, I'm all in. And in real life, you dating for potential, or dating for what you think is going to be great, and committing to someone long term because you think it'll be great, I think you need to find a little bit more, do a little bit more research, before you make that investment. See it as an investment. Your time is an investment. But yeah, I think Venus and Capricorn people, they really need stability. So they may find themselves with people who create a lot of drama and who start fights and things like that. But is that going to be the healthiest relationship for them? Absolutely not. Is it the most healthy relationship for most people? No. But it's going to cause them a lot of anxiety, and they will be much more receptive to giving and receiving love when they feel stable, in the sense that perhaps there's been a title discussed, we are exclusive, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, their partner doesn't treat them differently, even if they're upset or something, they don't get the cold shoulder, they don't get mistreated, they know how to argue or to discuss in a mature way, so that the person doesn't have to be guessing, and they're not playing games. Because when Capricorn is in that anxious, unsure mindset where I don't know if I'm on steady ground, they're not going to be as receptive to let their guard down and to love and to be vulnerable. In terms of love languages, I really think acts of service is a major one, because Capricorns know that they're very capable, they're very driven, and even if they're not with someone in an exclusive relationship, if they have love feelings toward that person, they are going to try to show through acts of service that you should consider me. I'm a good candidate. It's almost like a resume. Look, I helped you with this. I know how to cook. When I picked you up for that date, I did everything right. I know how to tick all the boxes, and therefore I'm the best candidate for this job. Yeah, so I would say physical touch, words of affirmation. They're gonna really like to hear words of affirmation, because they're really self-starters, but they do love validation for their achievements and for what they accomplish. Are they considered the most verbal sign that's just going to shower you with praise verbally? No, probably not. But it is important for you to be verbal with them, and then you can start that dialogue. They also might be gift givers, because they're an earth sign. They're very much in the material world. They really might enjoy giving gifts, especially because they're not big spenders, but if they spend on you, it's going to be quality, and it's going to be thoughtful, or something that they think will really impress you. So gift giving is a nice way for them to show that you really mean something, because again, they're not really big spenders, just on themselves and just on anybody, any old person. Quality time as well, for sure, but I do know that Venus in Capricorn is not considered a super spontaneous love sign, so don't expect them to be able to drop everything and just see you all the time and spend 3 days in a row at your house and things like that. They've got things going on, they have goals that they want to reach, and they often have a really nice schedule down. If that's kind of how they feel healthy, people with Capricorn influence. So they're not going to feel good if they have to break the structure that they've established of their life. You know what I'm saying? With that Saturn vibe. They're not going to like, yeah, let's just have a tsunami and just screw that. We'll just destroy all of the blueprints that I was creating and start again. If they really do that, they really love you, but also I don't I don't think it's healthy for you to destroy a life that you've built just because somebody new comes into it. I think you can make concessions and you can be flexible, but I don't think one person needs to destroy their entire life and what makes them happy so that they can be around somebody 24/7. But yeah, I would definitely say acts of service is gonna be a big one. Capricorn also, I think for their type, they're gonna like somebody not only who offers them stability, who seems mature, they might date older, or they might date someone who has, who seems older for their age. They like people who have it together, okay? So no playing games, no, they're probably gonna be turned off if you're doing kind of immature stuff on social media. They might be turned off if you don't really know how to communicate very well and you're kind of texting in like an immature way that's illegible, run-on sentences. But they also, similar to Leo placements, they like people who've achieved in their life. They like people who are driven, who have their own path. If you think about the little goat climbing up the mountain, they want someone who can climb up the mountain with them. Most likely they're really not going to enjoy somebody who's like, yeah, you can have all the accolades and I'll just sit around and good for you. No, they want to share that drive with someone else in their life. The striving for achievements and striving for greatness and always asking better of yourself, always asking for for personal progress. They want someone who understands that and who is a self-motivator too. So it could be a very much a power couple dynamic if the cards are played right. So they are gonna look at what you do, how you spend your days, how you take care of yourself, your whole package. It really is kind of like a business transaction for them, not in the sense that it's that love is cold or not passionate, but they're weighing all of the kind of factors that go into who you are and things like that. So yeah, as far as type goes, what I would recommend is earth signs, sure, but I think water with Capricorn would go really well. I think a Scorpio, especially. If we think about Harry Potter, Slytherin is Scorpio's house, basically, and Slytherin is about achievement. And many people think of others who have high aspirations, who are not afraid to say, I want to make a lot of money, I want to achieve a lot, I want to have this, I want to have that, I want to do this. They think it's selfish, or just we associate it only with money and that's evil. But I mean, money makes the world go round, as they say in Cabaret. But I think Scorpio would associate with Capricorn in terms of, yeah, we ask a lot of ourselves. We want to achieve. They're also both quite discreet. Venus in Capricorn is not a sign that I think would want to be seen in public making out. Maybe when they're not sober, I don't know. But the PDA and being very loud and brash and having everybody look at you, it's not something that they're gonna love. And Venus and Scorpio either, really, unless you're being kind of a daredevil thing, which could be fun for both of them. But yeah, I think they both have depth that a lot of people can overlook sometimes because they're not always the loudest signs. They're not always the party starters and all of that. And I think they kind of like that. They kind of like being the quiet observer, you know, master plan person and things like that. So I think that would be a really cool combination. And then other water signs too, I think could really help Capricorn tap into the emotional side of love, whether that's a water sun sign or just you have your Venus in a water sign. The Capricorn can bring all of this groundedness, and it can just be made deeper with emotion and expression, and a water sign can help a Venus in Capricorn verbalize a little bit more their feelings or their needs and things like that. A Venus in Capricorn may not always ask for what they need, because I find that a lot of earth sign people, they take a lot on. They're like, they can sometimes be almost like pack animals, where they're just taking a lot on and they know that they're strong and so that's it, but they don't really think to ask for what they need, or they've maybe never had a partner who encouraged them to ask for what they need or who was even aware of that. So definitely water signs, and earth signs for sure too, because some people, like air and fire signs, find stability and routine boring. And that's not on you, Venus and Capricorn, because if that is how you feel healthy and great and stable, don't let anyone tell you that you're boring. But some people enjoy a lot of variety, a lot of little fights, passionate little arguments, a little bit of drama here and there, maybe, you know, opening up the relationship, whatever. Venus and Capricorn, the boundaries need to be very clear. There needs to be consistency. That's not to say that a Venus and Capricorn wouldn't be open to having a non-conventional, maybe a poly relationship, because I think in terms of business, because I know, I'm sorry, Capricorns are always being associated with business, and I'm sorry, but it's, as long as the terms are explicitly spelled out, they'll feel comfortable. It's like going into the doctor's office for a procedure, but they're not going to tell you what they're doing. It's going to be 1,000 times more scary when they're just like, just sit back. Just, I don't need to tell you what this tool is, but you just hear metal and you're going to feel something, but it doesn't matter. It feels much more relaxing to say, this is what this is. I'm going to do this. It might feel a little bit like this. Please, da, da, da. They want all the terms spelled out. I think we can all agree that that makes us more comfortable, but especially Capricorn influenced people. Those boundaries, those terms, once they're there and they've been agreed upon, very nice. And yeah, they will spend on nice things for the people that they care about, but they're not a sign that is going to flex when it's not necessary. Then again, they can get a little competitive. They do like to show their achievements. And so if they're in a crowd where, if they run with a crowd where material items show your success, they might get themselves into being into those material items. But it's not so much like Leo, where it's just like, I will run myself into debt so that you think that I am killing it financially. It's like, it's not so much of a show. And Venus and Capricorn will not run themselves into debt because they are very much into the future. They're very much planners, and that is just not good for a stable future. That doesn't make for stability. So they can be considered quite frugal. But yeah, everything they do, they really do have the future in mind. They are kind of planners. I feel like they're always kind of making a ladder. While they can be in the present, they're always in the back of their mind making a ladder to where they want to go. So they're also not somebody who is gonna, if they're not the type that falls really fast because somebody gave them attention, they're not gonna be dating a bunch of random people all the time. Or maybe they keep their dating life a very specific compartment, and then they have the rest of their life. They're not focused on love all the time. They have a lot of other things on their plate, a lot of other things that they want to do regardless of love or whoever comes along. It's not like a Venus in Libra where love just dominates their entire life and they are always thinking about love. And I can say that because I'm a Venus in Libra. It's not like that at all. In that sense, they're not going to be like easily seduced. You know, they may go out with you and have a good time, but they're not some sign that is just going to be daydreaming the day away about some person that they crossed in the street. They don't have the time for that. And they're not also going to invest in people that they don't think are not worthy of it, but they don't think fit into their life or fit into their future. They may even be slightly cold at times. They could be a sign that breaks up with people because, listen, you know, I want to marry somebody from my culture and you're not a part of that culture, and it's really important to my family that I marry someone from our culture, and so I'm going to have to break it off. Or I got a job offer. I know we've been together for 4 years, but I got to take this job and I think I got to do it by myself. So I'm going to cut it off here. Or, you know, you don't see this happening in your life, and I want this, I have this goal, and so we need to, they're good at being realistic. I mean, there are plenty of couples that are together where one person doesn't want to have kids and the other does, and they're just not acknowledging that right now because they're young. And it's like, that's going to come up eventually, and you're going to be heartbroken when you break up because it's going to be even longer that you spent together. Venus and Capricorn can be very rational about love, which I think is quite helpful. So I don't think it's that they're cold or that they're not good at love. I think they just are logical, but definitely being with someone who allows them to feel safe and secure so that they can be vulnerable and really open up to all the soft parts of love that might feel a little scary and risky, because love, there is never a guarantee. They'll feel a little bit more comfortable doing that. So that is all I have to say about Venus and Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed this video and the whole Venus sign series. If you want to check out yours, they are all on my channel, so go check it out, and I will talk to you in my next video. Love you guys so much. Mwah! Bye, guys.